Hi peaches, it's Shaaba. Welcome back to my channel and thank you for clicking on another video. How are we doing today? I'm feeling good. I'm feeling quite warm. I'm feeling quite sexy in my very flowy materials and my new pink hair. I'm ready to brain fart. Recently I received this comment and I don't think it meant to come from a bad place, but I really wanted to talk about it. Is this an okay thing to say? Why does it make me feel iffy? If it's not an okay thing to say, why is it not an okay thing to say? We're gonna go into all the details, my friends, but before we do, a big thank you to today's video sponsor, Pride Counselling. As we know, identity and attraction are really tricky things to navigate. That's probably why you clicked on this video, and if you are LGBT+ and wanting to talk to someone about it, Pride Counselling could be a really good resource for you. They provide private online counselling specifically for LGBT+ cuties like yourselves. I've used them, paid of my own accord and first-hand account. I found them really helpful. Some of you lovely peaches have used them too, and you've kindly shared some really sweet reviews. All in all, it was an excellent experience and I feel like I'm closer to figuring myself out now. How cute is that? Amazingly personable, making it easy to feel comfortable and pushing you to think outside the barriers you've created for yourself. I am so glad. We love a successful brand partnership that also helps you out. All of the counsellors on Pride Counselling are of course LGBT+ friendly, and if you don't like your counsellor for whatever reason, you can just switch like that. The counsellors are also licensed, trained and fully accredited with at least 3 years of experience and certification from their state's professional boards. And it's also online, which one means that you can take it from the comfort of wherever you feel best. Mine is typically my bed. And 2, it also means it tends to work out a lot cheaper. This Pride Counselling is half the cost of my previous therapist. And if you still can't quite afford it, that's totally fine too. Just know that Pride Counselling also offer financial aid that you can apply for, because nobody should feel left out from mental health. If you want to find out more or sign up, you can use my link pridecounselling.com/Shaaba and you'll even get 10% off your first month. On with the video. I just don't find gay people attractive. And you know, this isn't the only time I'm seeing this. I'm seeing this come up more and more about many different marginalized groups that people are just really willing to share, particularly in terms of the LGBT+ community. I've seen this so much in relation to non-binary people, bi people, binary trans people. This sentiment in particular being used against trans people is really damaging right now and used a lot by trans exclusionists, which I think is probably why it's riling me up a little bit more than it should. But here's where the brain fart comes in. I am not at all suggesting that you need to be forced to find people attractive. If you do not find someone attractive, someone's standing in front of you and you do not find them attractive, you do not need to find them attractive. There's no policing here to say you have to find all LGBT+ people super hot and sexy. I mean, most of us are, but that's not the point. At the same time though, it's not a but, it's not a you can't police people, but it's you can't police people into finding people attractive. And if you put a blanket rule down that says, hey, I am not attracted to a large group of people, there is something wrong with that. That's very different. And 99.9% of the time, that is coming from a place of unconscious bias that needs to be addressed if it's going to affect how you interact with people in society. There's a really common example of this, right? I'm sure we've all heard in the gay communities the terms no fats, no femmes, no Asians. We can all recognize that that is super problematic. And the reason that it's problematic is not because it's policing an individual and how they feel towards other individual people. It's encouraging and reinforcing the societal stereotype that says that only white people, only skinny people, and only super masked men or super feminine women, like the traditional roles of people, are what we as a society need to find attractive. It's power and it's supremacy, and that right there is why it's wrong. The reality is, if someone is in front of you, you should be judging them based on their attractiveness, physically, whatever, orally? Is that a word? Not orally. Based on their aura, if that's what you're into, personality-wise, you should be judging that based on them as a person, not because of a certain characteristic that they have. Take me as an example. If you said to me, it's fine, it's okay, you can be really honest. If you said to me, Shaaba, I don't find you attractive, I'm like, okay, fine. I mean, not totally cool. I will have my ego bruised a little bit, but it's totally fine. What is not totally fine is if you said to me, I'm not attracted to you because I'm not attracted to South Asians. That's not okay. So what is the difference? Why does one feel okay and justifiable and not the other? The way that I feel about it is the first one is based on me. That's okay. You can judge me based on me. But in the second scenario, you are basing my attractiveness because of something that I cannot control and on a characteristic and a label that literally cuts out an entire race of people purely because you have been conditioned to believe that South Asians are ugly. I genuinely believe now, I didn't always, I genuinely believe that we should be open to seeing if someone is attractive when we actually see them, and not judging people that you haven't seen or maybe don't even know exist yet literally because of something like the colour of their skin. How is that not racism? Like, if it's racism, then it's also homophobic to say this about gay people, or transphobic to say this about trans people. Do you see what I mean? You're targeting marginalised groups based on full-on blanket characteristics. And whilst the same thing absolutely goes for sexual orientation and gender identity, the one extra confusing point to me about sexual orientation and gender identity is that you can't actually see that. I'm not excusing race. Obviously you can see that I'm brown. I love my beautiful chocolate skin. I appreciate it's not for everyone. Whilst it's not something I encourage or support, I understand why people will then look and have that unconscious bias play and be like, oh, well, yeah, I'm not attracted to you because, you know, I don't like brown people. It's an unconscious bias. I'm racist. I don't even know it. But with sexual orientation and gender identity, you cannot see it. And that's what's really confusing and, to me personally, damaging about statements like the comment that this video is about. Again, take me as an example. You don't find me attractive because you don't find me attractive? Okay, that's cool. But if you said you don't find me attractive because I'm bi, how? Like, how would you even know? Do you see what I mean? Like, if you saw me on the street and you knew nothing about me, you knew nothing about my identity, and someone just said, hey, what do you think of that sexy hot chocolate mama? Is she a bit of you? And you went, yeah, I do find her attractive. And then someone went, oh, but she's bi. What there changes about me and my appearance apart from your biphobia that now suddenly makes me unattractive? It makes no sense to me. And you know what? I have to call myself out here too, because I used to say this too. Not about bi people, but about non-binary people. I'm pretty certain I've said in a past video that I don't find non-binary people attractive. And that's not okay. That wasn't what I meant, but it's still very damaging words. What I was trying to say, and that's in a video about bi people and who they like, so it's only for educational purposes. I wasn't just randomly letting everybody know my attraction levels. What I was trying to say is that to date, I had not found a non-binary person that I knew of attractive. But what I didn't emphasize is that there is every possibility that I might come across and meet a non-binary person and thirst so bad. Back then I was definitely confusing the holy triad of terms that I know we've spoken about before on this channel. Gender identity is who you know you are, sexual orientation is who you, so it's still based on you, but who you are attracted to, and gender expression. That third one, gender expression, is a little bit different and so often confused with gender identity and sexual orientation. And gender expression is how we act and present ourselves, normally based on societal stereotypes. It's the idea that boys like blue and football and girls like pink and dolls. Me, as a bi person, as I've said before, I am definitely more attracted to feminine women as opposed to masculine women. I know, it's painfully boring. I wish it wasn't so, but the heart, the lust, the body wants what the body wants. But does that mean that I would never find a masculine woman attractive? No. Or a feminine man? How could I possibly say such a thing? I have no idea, and if I was to say those things, all I would be doing is judging an entire group of people based on a single characteristic that I know that they had. By saying I don't find non-binary people attractive, I don't find gay people attractive, what you're doing is putting a label on someone that you don't even know exists, that you've never even seen before, and that's, you know, just not great. I would really hate it if somebody had done that to me, and I'm sure that you watching this video would also very much dislike that. There's no difference to me between saying that and saying things like, oh, you're brown so you must like curry. No, we are individual people. We can joke about bisexual people having transparent phone cases and sitting on their chairs funny. We can see correlations absolutely between brown people eating a lot of curry, just as much as we can tease Brits for eating lots of roasts. But that's because there's a difference between choosing to adopt and embrace cultural elements and being unequivocally defined and judged by it. Now here's an extra point that also gets me thinking that falls somewhere within my brain fart. Even if it is true, and I'm noticing a trend and a pattern that I do not particularly find masculine women very attractive, do I need to say it? You don't need to label other people, and you certainly don't need to put that label of who you are attracted to so definitively on yourself. No one is standing there saying, there is a deadline, you must tell everyone online, wherever it is, exactly who you're attracted to. I mean, if there is, run, because that is not what somebody should be doing. They are a mean person, and you need to tell them that you don't need to choose to discriminate or hate or judge people based off of characteristics when you don't even know what they look like or who they are. Sometimes we can just not label things. We can just let things be. That's totally okay. And especially when it comes to identity points that we can't even see. Idiot Shaaba from the past. When I said that I wasn't attracted to non-binary people, what I was trying to communicate more nuancedly is that I'm typically not attracted to the more androgynous expression. I personally don't go for that. That's not my go-to attractive look. But the reality is, because we can't see identity, I could be looking at somebody who looks like a cis straight, vanilla, very feminine woman who identifies as non-binary. Meanwhile, I could be looking at someone who is a cis straight woman but who dresses super duper androgynously because that's just how they like to express, and I may not be interested or attracted to that. That's not to do with the identity at all. It's to do with the clothes that they wear, not a characteristic that blankets a whole group of people. And, Idiot Shaaba, I hope you're listening, we also need to be open to the fact that we might then in the future find people who go against these trends and patterns that we've observed in our past attraction behaviour. I might find someone who dresses super androgynously, who I find really bloody attractive. So my hot take is, let's stop blanket saying who we are and are not attracted to. It is so great to explore your feelings. I totally encourage you to identify the trends and the patterns of what you like and what you don't like. That's part of the fun of finding out who you are. All I'm saying is that we should also be giving everyone the equal individual opportunity that we would expect to receive too. But it's just words. Focus on something important, Shaaba. This is important. The words that we use, especially when they refer to marginalised communities, are important because those words shape our behaviours, and then our behaviours affect people's rights, and everybody deserves equality, fair chance, and to be taken seriously. So instead of saying that you don't find gay people attractive, or bi people, or trans people, or fat people, or femme people, or Asian, whatever, maybe take the time out to reflect on what it is that you really mean. Perhaps it's that you don't find that particular person attractive who also happens to be gay and who may be expressing femininely, I'm guessing, based on this comment. That's okay, you're totally entitled to feel that, but better yet, maybe don't find a need to say it at all. And if you still feel like you really need to say it, maybe you need to question where that need is coming from, and if it's coming from a good place, and if you do think it's coming from a good place, maybe if it's just coming from an unconscious bias that stems from a bad place that you don't even know about. That's what unconscious bias is. Sometimes we are discriminatory. Even when we think we're the most amazing people and open-minded people in the world, we can be mean, unconsciously so, but it's still mean. Compassion, people. Compassion and equal opportunity. All I ask is that you call me ugly because of me, not because of the characteristics that I happen to possess. Okay? Do you agree? Does this make sense to you? Let me know. Let's have a chat downstairs in the comments section, but above all, remember, be kind. And as a fun piece of homework to end this video off, I challenge you to pop downstairs in the comments and let me know one person, the name of one person, could be real, fictional, past, whatever, who you find particularly attractive based on them as an individual, not the characteristics. Let us all thirst together. Do you know who mine is? I'll start. Miley Cyrus. Ooh-wee. Alright friends, if you enjoyed this video, do give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you'd like to see more. Definitely let me know what your thoughts are, what's swimming around in that beautiful little mind of yours. Remember to check out Pride Counselling if you feel so inclined. Be kind and have a great day. Bye.